Okay, so we are going to we did a short answer last time. Tell me what you remember about short answer questions.
My hand hurt.
Why did your hand hurt? Okay, because you had to write a lot. APB, perfect. A stands for what? Answer it. So do you answer in your own words or with stuff from the book? Your own words. And the big thing to remember there is to be specific. So what does it mean to be specific? Yes, to get to the point. Don't be wordy, but what else? What's the difference between being too broad and specific? Focus on one point. Exactly. So your answer is going to have words like because in it. All right? And we'll talk about that more in a minute. P stands for what in APB? Prove. How do we prove things? Text evidence from the book. Anything from the book or passage. Why do we have to prove it? To make sure that your answer is right and because they tell us to. Do you know what you can score on a short answer question? That's on an essay. So drop it down 1. 3 or a 2 or a 1 or a 0. Let's talk about this. 3 and 2s, amazing. 0 and 1, we don't want those. One short answer is worth 9 multiple choice questions.
Are you serious?
Yes. So they are so heavily weighted. One of them is worth a bunch. So you think it's pretty important that we get those right? I'll tell you, 3s are really, really hard to get. And kind of unrealistic. 2s are, if you follow APB, you can get a 2. You will get a 2 if you follow APB.
Can you get a 3?
You can, absolutely. But you'll for sure get a 2. And so 2s are where we're aiming for. And if we get a 3, even better. Okay? 3s are not common. They don't give out very many. 2% of short answer questions got a 3. That's pretty crazy.
So why not teach APB if it's not going to get us a 3?
It's going to get us a 2.
Because the state uses humans to grade this, and we're not going to rely on something as subjective as humans to determine what's a perfect score or not. So we're just going to tell you this is what we do to pass. And then hopefully we'll practice and practice and practice, and you'll get so good at these that you will get a 3.
Okay.
That's the ultimate goal. But 2s, I want you to know, are still really good. I read really short answers that get 2s, and that's okay. 3 is just wow, out of this world. Jaquela, don't hide from me over there. Okay? You're not sleeping today. All right. Hopefully. Once we get through this, we're going to read. Huh? No. Y'all can't. Yes. Yeah, you could be the second person, but that's only if we get to it. So we've got to do this first. Because y'all fell asleep last time. So you lost your chances. Okay. We're going to move on. We'll talk about it later. All right. So will somebody read me the question at the top of that keeper short answer? Thank you. Describe El Gato and his father's relationship. So, that's our question. Describe their relationship. Look at that chart at the bottom. On that chart, what's the far left column say? Okay. Which means you pick the 2 most important words. All right. So what are the 2 most important words in describe El Gato and his father's relationship? Okay, but in the sentence, describe El Gato and his father's relationship. So I heard relationship. And I heard what? Yeah, and his dad. Good. We'll combine them. I know. We're combining them. So normally, to help you decipher the question, we're going to find words that are synonyms for those. So synonym means what?
The same thing.
Yeah, good. A different word that means the same thing. So, do you know a synonym for relationship? It's kind of a hard one. You could use your phone if you want. Huh? Okay, that's one way to describe it. Good. We'll put that. Chase is looking it up for us. Yeah, relationship's hard. Normally it would be really easy to think of a different word for the two most important words. And these different words are the ones that you want to use in your answer so that you don't just repeat the question exactly how it is. But relationship's hard. Did you find one, Chase?
Yeah. Romance, love, I don't know how to say that, or that, partnership, and performance.
Oh, okay, so most of those won't work because it's not like a romantic relationship. It's a father-son relationship. But it is a relationship. So let's keep the word relationship. I think that's okay. Yes?
There is also kinship and affinity.
Kinship.
Kinship means that they're related. But that would sound kind of weird if we used it. Like their kinship is...
There's also like an eighth one.
Okay, tell me more.
Connection, relation, association, link, correlation, correspondence, parallel, alignments, and bondage.
Bond. Can we agree that that's a good one? Okay. Bond. Okay. And Elgato and his dad, those are very important. Basically, this is a father-son relationship. Okay, good. So this helps us to decipher what the question is even asking. And I feel like a lot of times that's like the hardest thing. Like once we go through this, a lot of time kids are like, oh, well now I know. That makes it easier. So someone tell me what the middle column says. Okay, so what is your answer? So how would you describe their relationship? Not so good. And we're going to brainstorm all of these and pick the best one. They are divided. Good. What else? They are very much opposites. They're very different from each other. Good. They disagree. And because they disagree, I'm going to say their relationship is difficult. Yeah. Good metaphor there. I like it, Chase. Okay, so these are all answers. They're similar, but we only pick one of them to be our answer because we only have 9 lines. Okay, so here, divided, opposites. Okay, and remember, whatever answer we prove, or whatever answer we pick, we've got to prove it. Huh? Okay, so let's do this. Let's narrow it down to divided and difficult. So it's going to be one of these. Because divided and opposites are similar. Not so good. Yes, that's true, but there's a better way we could say it. So we're either going to pick divided or difficult. So grab your book. Look towards the late 30s in pages. But you can pick whatever you want, whatever page. But I know there's some stuff at the close to 40 that might prove. So we're looking for proof for divided. So proof that Elgato and his father are divided. Or proof that their relationship is a difficult one. Basically, it's just not easy. They've got issues, which we've all got issues, right? Correct. Well, yes, so his father doesn't want him to play soccer, but remember right now he's lying to his family and telling them he's studying plants and bugs and stuff. And so his mom's like, you're going to go to college. And his dad's like, you're not going to go to college, you're going to be a logger. And so, okay, so we want to decide on difficult? Okay, I think that's probably a really good choice. So, difficult. So the third column is what? Text evidence, right? So someone look, and you could even use, no, not Google, quotes that we used last time in our other short answer. I will let you do that. So go ahead and look in the late 30s. So all the talk about like college and stuff, I think that's where we really saw like they have a difficult relationship. There is some stuff at the beginning, but then the talk about college and all that is around like 38, 39, 40. Okay.
But it's got him his dad.
Good. So let's keep looking. You're exactly right. We've got to find a quote that proves him and his dad have a difficult relationship. His mom, what? Which one?
This one 38. He said his mom had a vision of the world she learned to, and she has a profession.
Okay, that's good about his mom. So let's look right above that where he's talking about his dad. He didn't see... In my town, boys grew into loggers, girls grew into the wives of loggers. They would have children who became either loggers or the wives of loggers, and that was that. So he didn't see the point in my becoming an expert in the ways of the forest. He thought it was unnatural. So he is who? His dad. So let's put that on our list.
It doesn't want to write.
It's okay. We'll write the beginning of it, and we'll write the end of it. Okay? And we'll leave the middle, we'll just do ... ellipses for the middle. Because this is just our brainstorming. But if we want to use that in our short answer response, we've got to write it all. But we'll decide that in a second. So we're going to start with, let's start with so he didn't. So we use quotation marks. Why? Good. Direct quote, directly from the text, we've got to have quotation marks. So he didn't see the point in my becoming an expert in the ways of the forest. He thought it was unnatural. And I'm just going to leave out the middle right there because we know what it is. We can come back to it if we want to use it. And that's on page 38. So I want to also add to our brainstorm list the quote from last time that I think we used it last time. It's on 40. And it says, I guess my father thought that 2 years of real work would put an end to all these crazy ideas. Because he's talking about crazy ideas or what?
Unnatural.
Yeah, what does his father think is crazy? That he wants, and that he even wants to go to college. He's like, that's crazy. He just shoots it down. So let's add that here too. So that's on page 40. So 40. My father thought that 2 years of real work would put an end to all these crazy ideas. So I'm going to do ... again and say crazy ideas. Now, remember, if we're going to use that quote in our short answer response, we've got to write the whole thing. But in our brainstorming, we don't. So we'll decide which of those to use in just a second. There'll be times where you could use two separate quotes, and that's okay. But while we're just learning right off the bat, we're just going to use one. You only have to have a 1 to get a 2. Even some 3s only have 1. So I'm going to give you 1 minute. Talk with someone around you and come up with your sentence for A, your answer. And then we're going to throw them all out here and write the best one down. So you use, So you use some words from over here in your answer sentence, which always comes first. You have to start off with an answer. And that has to be in your own words. Always, always, always. So take 1 minute, talk to someone around you about what your answer sentence could be, and then we'll throw them out there. Go for it. Okay, hold on to it. What do you think your answer sentence could be, Jacqueline? Basically like these two in a sentence. Don't write it yet. Just be thinking about it, and we're going to write down the one that we all agree on. Yeah, and then you'd need because. Good. See? You got this. Huh? I know. I'm sorry. It's freezing. Because my room is like hot or cold.
Put it in more.
Huh? It's just comfortable.
You make your own ice in here?
No. I could. I have a freezer.
I figured just a room itself.
All right. So what's some sentences you came up with? Y'all had one, right?
Oh, yeah. Like the bond between Elgato and his father is lit, and then like thinking him.
Okay. So the bond or relationship. Normally we'll try to pick a different word. But relationship's really a pretty good word because there's not another one that just means exactly that. So if we were to even stick with relationship, the relationship between Elgato and his father is, what do we decide is our answer? Difficult because we've always got to have because. So let's get that first part down, and then y'all can tell me the because. Okay, so A, this is on your APB template. You're writing this in the answer box at the top. All right, so the relationship between Elgato and his father is difficult because why is it difficult? Okay. They're opposites? Not yet. That's a really good question. A lot of times people think that they could say, like, it's difficult because, and then give their quote. But not yet. It's going in sentence 2. This is still our own words. So, why is it difficult? So, we came up with this quote, like, his father thought that going to college was crazy, okay? And he didn't see the point in him becoming anything but a logger. And it's unnatural. So, we can't say the exact same thing as our quote. But these things prove that they had a difficult relationship. So tell me in your own words, why is it difficult? Because what? So you want to use something about being opposite or different from each other?
He wants his son to
What?
be like everybody else.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Everybody. He said everyone becomes a logger, not like everybody else.
Okay.
We gotta fight.
Okay, we could take him, he wants his son to be like him. That's really good, but I want you to save it for later. Okay? Don't forget it. So, how about the relationship between Elgato and his father is difficult because his father has
Low expectations. No.
what? Okay, that's good. What were you going to say, Chase? I didn't hear you.
Say it.
The whole time nobody really said it.
Well, that's
Okay.
why we're letting you talk now.
Okay, so the relationship between Elgato and his father is difficult because, how about they have different goals? They have different goals, or they have different aspirations. Yes. Yes, they have different goals for Elgato's future. Okay, perfect. In the answer box on the APB template. Difficult because they have different goals for Elgato's future. Okay, so do y'all see how that's specific? A lot of people just stop at difficult. They're like, it's difficult, or even worse, it's bad. And that's it. But that's way too broad because there are a bunch of things that could make a relationship bad. So we've got to narrow in on one thing that makes their relationship bad. Dorian? Yes. At the end, yes. Because I just want you to practice making it all fit. Because it does all have to fit in that box on the test. But once we get going and you'll learn APB really well, you won't have to write it in both places. You'll only write it in the box. Which quote do y'all want to use to prove that they have different goals? Okay, if you want the first one, hold up number 1. If you want the second one, hold up 2.
Oh, 1.
Okay, 1. I need votes from y'all. Give me a vote.
Number 1 is better. 3. Say number 1. Say 2. Say 1, 2.
It's one.
1.
It's 1. Okay. So, no. Go back. Thank you. All right. So now, let me ask y'all. When we get to a quote, do you have to use the whole sentence? No. That's the beauty of it. You can pick and choose wherever you want to start in that sentence. So if you don't want to use the first 3 words, you don't have to. As long as when you start using the direct quote, you give me what?
Quotes.
Quotation marks. Very good. So let's look at 38 here. Find that quote. So the quote was, so he didn't see the point in my becoming an expert in the ways of the forest. He thought it was unnatural. So we're going to start off in our own words because we always start in our own words. We can't just stick a quote in there because that's too choppy. So how about, so we're on the P now for prove. Who is this talking? Whose point of view is this? Elgato. So let's start with that. How about Elgato explains that his father, and then we're going to start with the quote. Her quotation marks. Didn't see the point in my becoming an expert in the ways of the forest. Okay, so here's the thing. So do y'all want to still have the sentence of he thought it was unnatural? Yeah, I think it's good. I think it helps to really prove it. So you don't want to have, in one sentence, you don't want to end a quote and end a sentence and start another one. because it's just weird because this is technically inside your sentence. So I'm going to show you how I do this. His father didn't see the point in my becoming an expert in the ways of the forest. I'm going to end this quote, but I'm not ending my sentence yet. Okay? Because that's my word, so it's out of the quote. I'm going to start up a new quote. It was unnatural. It's not. Nope. It is a complex sentence. But it is not a run-on. So, Elgato explains that his father didn't see the point in my becoming an expert in the ways of the forest because it was unnatural. We used 2 quotes there, actually, which is good. I mean, that's amazing. You only have to use 1, but if you got 2, great. So now is the blend part. Someone tell me what you think the blend part means. Yes, how do you put them together? Huh? No, do not write it all again. But I'm glad you said that because a lot of people might think that. Don't repeat yourself. So here's what you do. Here's the thing to ask yourself when you get to blend.
Don't you put like all that in like one sentence?
So what you do is you tell me what, Dorian, what'd you just say? You tell me how this proves that they have a difficult relationship. So, his father thinking it's unnatural what he's doing, how does that show that they have a difficult relationship? And that they have different goals. Okay, his father, good. So, Chase. And this is going to be multiple sentences, okay? And I know y'all are like, this is so long. But good short answers are long. Okay? Yes, yes, yes. I promise. They're called short answers for a reason. I know. I know. I'll put it in the middle. How about that? No. Okay. So this is going to be multiple sentences. Chase, what did you say a second ago? You said his father what?
Doesn't support him.
Okay, good. So, okay, that's perfect. But we don't want to repeat goals again because we've already said it. So, okay. So let's say Elgato's father, and if we had his name, we'd say his name, so we're not always saying Elgato, but we don't know his name.
What is the other name?
Huh?
The story, what does it mean?
Cigüeña.
Yeah.
That's what they called him when he was a kid, but now everyone calls him Elgato.
Isn't that
No.
like
He's a cat.
a cat?
Yeah. I don't remember his real name. Does anyone?
Is it?
It's
not Faustino.
No, that's the guy. That's Paul. That's interviewing him.
It is Paul. Paul.
No, Paul Faustino is the one that's interviewing him. He calls him Gato from the very beginning.
Hey, is Paul?
Huh? Paul's the journalist that's interviewing him. Okay, we'll look it up in a second. So Elgato's father. So they have different goals. So let's get specific here. What's his father's goal for him?
He wants to be a logger.
Okay, so let's put both of those together. Elgato's father wants him to be a logger, just like him. Good. Elgato's father wants Gato to be a logger, just like him. Their whole job is to cut down trees in the rainforest. I know it actually is, and really sad.
That's worse than
Do they get a lot of money?
I think they just make enough to survive. They don't get rich. Yeah. Elgato's father wants Gato to be a logger, just like him. What does Gato want?
To be a soccer player.
Yes, but what do they think that he wants?
Oh, to be above researcher.
Right, which is all about going to college. A naturalist, yes, which is all about going to college, getting out of that town.
Too much money.
Okay, exactly. So how about Elgato's father wants him to be a logger just like him. When discussion, so y'all are writing this too, this will be our last sentence.
Yeah, then we gotta rewrite it though.
I know. But that's easy.
No, it's not. So we're not doing the complex?
No, this is all kind of the complex inference and everything together. Elgato's father wants Gato to be a logger, just like him. When discussion of other plans for the future. Well, let me look back here. I'm becoming an expert in the ways of the force. I'm going to hold on a minute. When discussion of
College.
So we've got to look back at our quote here, and our quote is saying that his dad thought it was unnatural for him to be interested in the forest. And so we've got to come back to that and talk about how that proves.
When discussion of his rainforest fantasy, it was like a thing.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, it is. What's your question, Dorian? Huh? Yeah, they do. He goes to school some, but it's not like as rigorous and as much as we do. I think that they I don't think it's like super strict, no. But he does, yeah, right. Elgato's father wants Gato to be a logger, just like him. How about this? When discussion of any hobbies, so like things he's doing for fun, like they think he's looking at the plants and insects. When discussion of any hobbies, I'm sorry, I'm struggling with this, but this is why I like to do this with y'all, because I like to show y'all it's not just easy. You don't just crank it out. Like sometimes you got to really mull it over. Okay, well I don't like this sentence at all. I'm sorry. Y'all, it's okay. I'm sorry. Elgato's father wants Gato to be a logger, just like him. I could, but I would do comma, but. So you want to do maybe... Gato's father wants Gato to be a logger, just like him. But Gato has bigger dreams.
Okay.
Teamwork. Do y'all want to say dreams or plans? Bigger plans.
Yeah, for himself.
For himself. One more sentence, then we're done.
One more.
This is still the same. We did a comma. Elgato's father wants Gato to be a logger just like him, but Gato has bigger plans for himself. He wants to, maybe just like he has aspirations to get out of the forest or the logging town or something like that, maybe.
Come on, Chase. What? Think of something.
Come on, Dorian, think of something.
But Gato has bigger plans for himself. How about this? Gato. Does it sound weird to say just Gato, Spanish speakers? Does anyone speak Spanish and know? Like, does it need to say El Gato?
Cat.
Yeah, those two letters, deal breaker.
Has bigger plans for himself.
I know, but if it's his name, I have no idea. We'll just say Gato. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with
But Gato has bigger plans for himself. Gato aspires. What does it mean to aspire?
Wants to.
Yeah, exactly. Wants to. So Gato aspires to get out of the small town forest. You're all exactly right. I was going to write logging town. We're done. So let's read it all together. The relationship between Elgato and his father is difficult because they have different goals for Elgato's future. Elgato explains that his father didn't see the point in my becoming an expert in the ways of the forest because it was unnatural. Elgato's father wants Gato to be a logger just like him, but Gato has bigger plans for himself. I'm going to change this to he because we say Gato a lot. He aspires to get out of the logging town. That's a 2. But it's so doable. The APB, see how blend really blends it blends the quote with the answer. So it tells us how does this quote prove our answer. And it's going to be a couple sentences long. All right. So now fit that in your short answer box. And then you're going to turn it in. And we're done with the short answer for today. I promise I won't make y'all do these every day. But it's good practice to do them together.
when we get that test in front of us, we're not going to remember what to do.
Yes, you are.
So we have to write all that?
I promise you.
That's what my teacher said last year.
Then we'll do it every day.
No, we won't. We have to write all that?
Yes. So write kind of small so you can start to figure out how hard, how difficult or easy it is to fit those 4 sentences in there.